Hey there folks, I'm here in my front yard, and sorry it's been a couple days since I made a video, since I published a video. I've been pretty busy lately, but now I'm here and I hope to publish some more videos a little bit more regularly. Over the past week I haven't published as many, but this video I wanted to make on which of my palms will I need to protect this winter, and I'll talk about sort of the different predictions for this winter and how I go about determining whether or not I need to protect something in any given winter, and the severity or degree of protection I feel is necessary. And as always, I especially would love to hear you guys' input. Pretty much everything I've learned, obviously literally everything I've learned about palms came from other people. All my knowledge of palms I've learned from other people, many of them viewers of mine. So if you guys have any advice or anything, please let me know, and hope you guys enjoy. So I'm here by my front garden. You can see my Eucalyptus cinerea. I could just start with this. Obviously not a palm, but these things are sort of listed as an annual when I bought it at the store. Again, the store knows basically nothing about palms. They're the people that said palms can't grow here, as unfortunately most people will say here. But these are really not annuals. These are, I've seen some that are nearing 20 feet in the area. Some that are maybe more. I've seen a number of them planted in local gardens. I've seen some that have been a little bit damaged after a winter, and in a really bad winter they can actually suffer dieback, where they die all the way back to the roots. But because, I mean, you can see this thing already has so many suckers and trunks on it, they can actually grow back from the roots. So they'll almost never die here in a winter. Even in a really bad winter, when they die all the way to the roots, a lot of people would probably remove them at that point or just like take them out. They can actually grow back from the roots, which is something that's just super cool. You can cut down eucalyptus, it'll grow back from the roots. Same with cold. So that's just super neat, and I will not need to protect this. Even if it is a bad winter and suffers dieback, it almost certainly will grow back. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, let's get into the first palm, which is definitely the most probably the most cold sensitive palm I'm going to be having out here in winter. Oh, there are the lights. This is my Camerops humilis Mediterranean or European fan palm. This palm is native to the Mediterranean, as the name implies, and these are not fully hardy here. They're marginal at best without any protection. The thing is that we're zone 7A, 7B, so we're pretty solid zone 7. Maybe we'll be bumped up if they do a rezoning at some point. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty solid zone 7, and these palms go to a place like Albuquerque. I always list Albuquerque because it's like a very similar zone to here, and it actually varies. There's parts of the Albuquerque area in the very southern end that are like 8A, and there's parts in the very northern end that are 6B. So and there's Folliferas in the 8A. There's Follifera in the 6B. So there's you got huge 30-40 foot Washingtonian Follifera growing there, even into as cold as zone 6B unprotected. And how is it possible? It's because it's a completely arid climate. And it's the same with these Camerops. They can do really well in Albuquerque, which in some parts of the area is actually colder than parts of than the entire DC area. But the reason is because it's so dry, and it's what kills it isn't the temperatures. I mean, the coldest ever recorded here is -5. These things have been recorded taking -5. In Texas, they could probably take -5. It's just that that's the coldest ever recorded in the DC area. That'd be really pushing it. But as far as this is concerned, Hey. But yeah, as far as this is concerned, this species does take pretty much the cold temperatures here down to probably 10 or above. It can take them fine, but it's the cold combined with the wet that really does them in. And it's like I said, they're not bulletproof here. They're not even really marginal. It's just that they can take the temperatures. You just got to give them that winter protection to keep the cold out. So what I'm just planning on doing, I've never protected one before in our climate, so if I do this wrong, obviously I'll see if it doesn't go well, but I think this will probably do it pretty well, at least in a normal winter. What I'm just going to do, and I'm planning on doing, is just putting a big plastic bag over it, staking it up so that the bag's not pressing against the fronds, because that's when you can get spotting and stuff, is if plastic is pressing against the leaves or something, and then that can lead to spots and browning on the leaves. So I don't want that, but I'm going to keep the stakes up, have a bag over it, and that'll just keep the moisture out. And so long as it doesn't dip below 10 Fahrenheit very often or for prolonged periods, we should be fine. And usually it doesn't. I mean, it's pretty rare in a winter where it dips below 10 at all, and if it does, it's usually pretty brief. But yeah, this is that's pretty much what I'm going to need to do to protect this one. And again, my protection method, I play it by ear. I've heard predictions that it's going to be a really bad winter. I've heard predictions that it's going to be actually an unusually mild winter on the East Coast. Again, Texas was hit with like the worst winter in a century last year. We had a pretty mild winter, so it's not like the whole country gets hit the same. It's different from even, you know, city to city. Winters can be very different just based on elevation, where you are, how wet or dry the climate is. There's a lot of factors that play into it. So, you know, I'm hearing a lot of hype for this winter as usual, and I love hearing people's predictions, but you know, you always want to take it with a grain of salt, depending on the source, and just see, you know, obviously I think it's less about what the hype is, and I just want to actually play it by ear and actually see what happens. So I look at the forecast for a week out, and like I said, last winter it was scheduled to be 9 Fahrenheit for a week out. 9 Fahrenheit would have been a little bit of a challenge for my tiny little Trachycarpus fortunei, and it ended up like every day in the forecast over that week, the predicted temperature for a week out for that day got 2 degrees warmer, and it ended up being like 21, 22. So, you know, even the predicted forecast can be drastically wrong. But yeah, these ones are, you know, who knows exactly how it's going to be, but I just play it based on like the week out forecast, and yeah, I'll just sort of see. And obviously if it gets like some extreme temperatures that, you know, if there's extreme temperatures in the forecast, you know, even if it's like a couple days out, as long as you protect it ahead of time, even like a day before, you know, it'll still be fine. So maybe I'll have to wrap it if it's like extremely cold, but that's what I'm planning on doing for this palm. And yeah, it'll just be interesting test. So I'm not planning on giving it any artificial heat, any wrapping whatsoever. Just put a little plastic bag over to keep the wetness out. Next we got, you know, these palms I don't need to talk about. We got Sable Minor, bulletproof here, never damaged in the worst of winters, or certainly never killed. I've never heard of one damaged. I mean, it's literally impossible for them to be killed in our coldest winter. Our coldest winter is -5. They've been recorded taking temperatures colder than that, maybe in a -5 winter. Again, it's the coldest ever recorded in the entire DC area, -5 Fahrenheit. So maybe it would be damaged, but I doubt it would even kill some of those tough Sable Minors that have been here for a while. Needle palm, even hardier. These things are completely bulletproof. Don't even need to talk about protection, no matter how cold of a winter it's going to be here. This lady palm, I'm going to dig up. I'm going to make a video of that. I just decided, you know, I mean, even if they can make it here, like in a winter with like minor protection, or it's like I was thinking of it pretty much no protection because I heard of one making it. The main trunks would still die, and it would just be living sort of a miserable life, just trying to come back from the suckers. And I don't want that. I want to keep it as an indoor palm until I live in a warmer climate, and then I'll plant it. If hopefully that happens. And now we get to my Trachycarpus palms, and this is where it gets, it's gonna get interesting because it's sort of like, you know, I mean, maybe I could just plastic bag it. The thing is that they don't actually mind the wetness that much. These palms are marginal here. I'd say that Tequil probably on the more hardy side of marginal in our area, but yeah, these palms are, you know, this one was here last winter, made it through completely fine, but in a really bad winter they can die, which is obviously not what I not what I want, and I would really hate that. So what I'm planning on doing is just, again, looking at the forecast and just covering the bases with mulch. More so just leaf litter, like stuff like that, but actually get it from, you know, instead of the holly leaves, which are just spiky and small, get it like the deciduous leaf litter from, you know, our maple or stuff like that, because we got this huge maple here. And just putting that leaf litter around the base and really just sort of smothering the trunks and that stuff. And that helps create some insulation, believe it or not. You may think just putting leaves over it creates insulation. It really does, because leaves give off, you know, they really help insulate things. And then, you know, same with this, and same with the Tequil. You know, obviously this one's more supposedly harder than Fortunei. Sorry, the quality of the camera is really bad, but yeah, I'm planning on just putting some leaf litter around the base, and yeah, it'll be an interesting test. Sable Minor will not need anything, so that's pretty much what I'm planning on doing, guys. Just sort of put leaf litter around it. Tamarops, I'm not going to put leaf litter around. You don't want to really smother that thing. Just going to put that tarp over it. Again, most people just sort of wrap their Tamarops. Mine's a little too small to wrap. I'm talking with like Christmas lights. Mine's a little too small to wrap. Same with my Trachycarpus. As soon as they get big enough, I'm going to be just Christmas light wrapping, because, you know, they're marginal here. If you put C9 Christmas lights on a Trachycarpus Tequil, that thing's going to be pretty close to bulletproof in our climate. These things really, Christmas lights, C9 Christmas lights help insulate palms like 1 to 2 degrees, and that made it sound like nothing, but on a cold day, the difference between, you know, 2 degrees can actually mean survival and potentially not. So it actually does help these palms a lot. So that's what I'm doing, folks. And let me know what you guys think. As always, I love to hear your opinions. And yeah, we'll just sort of see how the winter plays out. Hopefully, as always, I say this, but hopefully it's a mild winter. And yeah, it's just gonna be interesting to see what I do, because last winter I didn't protect these at all. I literally put my trichocarpus in December, and this thing made it fine. So that shows you it was nice and mild. And then I also got these Sable Minor seedlings. Sorry, it is so dark out now. I went out a little too late to film this, but you can see the seedlings right there. These things I'm also just gonna put mulch over, because people said that I need to protect them or I need to like mulch them over. I don't even really need to. I've seen them. I've been, you know, in the middle of winter, and you go to the National Mall, you have naturalized palms just like this. Seedlings about that big. They make it through fine, because, you know, these palms are so prolific here that they're literally naturalizing in some of the garden beds. So you have seedlings everywhere in a number of the garden beds on the south side of the National Mall. And again, the seedlings, even in a bad winter, these things make it through fine. So, but I'm still gonna mulch it over just because, you know, can't hurt, and it's right next to the trachea. So I'm just gonna put a layer of leaf insulation, and that's how it's done, folks. That's how I'm gonna do it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have a good one. Take care, and stay tuned for more videos, folks.